and welcome back to On the Note with Lexi Rains. I'm here with country music legend TG Sheppard with 21 #1 hits, and Kelly Lang, singer, songwriter, author, artist, record producer, comedian, speaker. Is there anything that you guys can't do?
I'm exhausted hearing you say that.
And we're also married to each other.
Yes, you are. Yes. Singing partners, wife, mother.
Hey, how you doing, Lexi? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're great. We're getting ready to head to the recording studio here before too long and work on some of Kelly's music, but we're glad to be with you.
Awesome. Well, I'm so thankful that you guys could be here, fit me in your busy schedule today. I just want to hop right in. So I'll start with you, TG. At the age of 15, you ran away from home and ended up in Memphis. Now, what happened when you ended up in Memphis?
Well, it was a God thing, Lexi. I met Elvis Presley at a skating rink late one night, and he befriended me, and it altered my life forevermore. I mean, he became one of my closest and dearest friends until the day he passed. He gifted me with my first tour bus and kind of got me started. People always ask me what was the greatest gift that my friend Elvis ever gave me. Was it the bus? And I said, no. The bus was the catalyst for what he really gave me, was confidence. To get a gift that large from someone like Elvis Presley, I couldn't let him down. I had to make sure that I succeeded because he believed in me enough to give me such a great gift to get me started. So the gift of confidence is what he gave me. But that's what happened when I ran away from home, wound up in Memphis, and I met Elvis, and my career kind of started from there.
I just love that story.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Don't try this at home.
I won't try that, I promise.
I wouldn't suggest anyone trying to chase their dream by running away from home, but I had to, because I had a very strict father who wasn't really big on me making music, and I knew that's what I wanted to do with my life. So I had to leave to make it happen.
So that was my next question is you knew that you wanted to do this before you ran away from home. It's not something that you realized later after you made it to Memphis.
No, I knew in advance that I had to do this. I knew that I was in for a long journey and a hard journey. And but my belief in God has always been strong, and he's always led me through the dark times until I found the light times. And so I knew early that I had to leave home to succeed, because, like I say, my dad was very strict, and there wasn't going to be any music under his roof. I was going to follow in his footsteps and be in the construction business, which he owned a construction company. With heavy equipment stuff.
I can't imagine that.
I know, I can't imagine making a living that way. I did work hard as a kid, working in cornfields and cotton fields and on a farm. But by running away, I was able to find my way and succeed with my dream.
And who knows, like you said, you wouldn't suggest anybody running away from home to follow that kind of thing. But I mean, where would you have been if that wasn't your story? Where do you think that you would have ended up if you had not run away from home?
I think I would have been a public servant of some type, maybe a doctor, because I love people. I love conversing with people. I love lifting people up and making people's lives better. So if I hadn't have done it with music and with a song, I would have probably maybe done it in medicine or something else, but I would have been closely related to the public in some way.
Well, that's awesome.
Dr. Sheppard, yes.
Dr. Sheppard. Well, I just want to know, coming from, I'm sure it wasn't easy, running away from home, being on your own until you met people, that were there for you. It must not have been easy. How is it now that you've gained so much success, and at one point you were in such a dark place where you were alone and you really had nobody?
Well, I just think you have to believe. I think you have to be, when you start off in this world, no matter what you do for a living, you are your first fan, you yourself. And you can only hope that you keep looking back behind you and seeing the numbers grow of people that follow you in whatever you do in life. So if you believe strong enough in what you want to do in life, you can attain success. It might not be as great as you had dreamed of, but you will attain some of it. So reach up there for the brass ring. Believe in yourself, because you really can. You know, there's an old saying that it's never too late in life to be who you might have been. That was by T.S. Eliot.
Mhm.
And I strongly encourage people to just believe in themselves. So, yeah, I succeeded by just believing that I could do it and thinking positive. And lo and behold, it came to be.
Absolutely. I think that maybe if you hadn't met someone like Elvis, I think you still would have, created the success that you have today. Because I think that you have a great determination about you. And I think that you would have been exactly where you are today had you not met somebody like Elvis who influenced your life.
That's why you call me Uncle TG.
That's why I call you Uncle TG. That's right.
Well,
So-
by meeting Elvis, though, it did help.
Absolutely.
I won't deny that. The association with him has always helped, even today with my radio show on Sirius XM, which is on Elvis Radio. I'm still closely related to Elvis and always will be.
Absolutely. One more question about Elvis, just because I'm curious. Did you have a clear, style of music before you met Elvis? And did his style of music influence that in any way?
Well, yeah. I mean, we all are Elvis fans in some way.
Absolutely.
But I mean, the people that influenced me were people like the Beach Boys, Roy Orbison, Johnny Cash, whose house is right down the road from where we live here. We live near the old Cash estate. So there were certain people that I looked up to. But yeah, Elvis influenced me not only with his music, but his philosophy about life. I learned from him. He told me one time years ago, he said, TG, if you really want to succeed in life, you need to apply one thing. And I said, what's that, sir? And he said, never forget where you came from, because if you do, you'll never get where you want to go. So there's no room for ego in whatever you do. People love authenticity, and they love the real thing. So I've always tried to just be myself.
Absolutely. So now, Ms. Kelly, you had a connection to Conway Twitty when you were young. I want to know a little bit more about that. Tell us the story of how, that changed the course of your life and ultimately your music career.
Well, I was born in Oklahoma City, and I was the youngest of 4 kids. My dad was a manager at a grocery store, and he was like a rock star manager. Everybody loved him, and everybody was really attracted to his charisma. And it just so happened that Conway lived in the same area. And when he would come in town off the road, he needed these big checks cashed. And my dad was the only one that would allow him to do that over the weekend. Banks weren't open then. And they struck up a great friendship. And he asked my dad to start working for him when I was 1. And it furthered into him then going on the road and becoming his road manager up until Conway passed, about 25 years. So in the midst of that, Conway, although he lived in Oklahoma, he always felt like he needed to bring his organization to Music City to be, more involved with the things going on in Nashville. And so about 30 of us in his industry, we did like a caravan across the country from Oklahoma to Tennessee and Hendersonville, to be specific. And that's where we landed. And it was, it's the start of a huge opportunity for me as a young girl starting out in the music industry. I was surrounded by the greats. I mean, it wasn't anything that George Jones or Loretta Lynn or, you name it, was calling my dad asking for advice. And I was sitting there at the helm of all of this, so excited to hear all of these people needing my dad's thoughts on things. And I learned so much from him, and obviously just watching Conway and learning from him as well.
That is so cool. And you wrote a book about your life and how music has impacted that. And tell us a little bit about how that is. How did music impact your life ultimately?
Oh my gosh, Lexi, I think I was just born musical. I don't remember not loving music. I wrote my first song when I was 6 years old. I mean, I'm sure you probably did too. I know what you are. I think you either have it in you or you don't. And luckily, it was already entrenched in my soul when I came into this world. But luckily, the stars lined up and I was able to live around it even more in Nashville. My book is called I'm Not Going Anywhere, and it's the title of a song that I also wrote that became a national commercial for Ascension Hospitals. And it depicts my my journey through the music industry as I was a winner on Star Search. I was an opening act for people like TG for years, and you know, so many other people that started out that way. And I eventually got married and took a side road, which that was not necessarily the path I should have been on, really. But I've got two beautiful girls. And I ended up getting breast cancer in the midst of me working through my career. And so the book really talks about not only music, my love finding TG and marrying him, but it also depicts the ups and downs and ups again of breast cancer and thereafter. I'm 17 years out now, so I'm really excited to be on this side of it. And I'm able to share some light with people that are maybe going through a dark time.
Absolutely. And how did, you know, I know that you're such a strong woman, and your book tells of that, of all those hard times and dark times that you went through, you know, your breast cancer and stuff like that. How did music get you through that?
Oh my goodness. You know, I was really grateful at the time. I was writing with Lori Morgan a lot. I think it was a healing. It was almost like a balm to me. Every time we would get together about once a week, every other week or so, and we would write her life story to music. And that all landed on a project called I Walk Alone. But that, it gave me something to look forward to, gave me something to forget the negative, and I could just focus on the beauty of music and creating. And I also created a crazy character during that time called XOXO, because I not only think music heals, but I think comedy and humor heals too. So that was a real fun and yet is bittersweet time for me in my
And
life.
people can see her if they go to YouTube. Oh, she's
Yep,
on there.
yep. I've seen it. It's great. It's great. But yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. Music and things like that, that just make you happy, make you smile, and give you different emotions. They really bring us together and get us through those hard times. And so, but I just want to thank you guys for talking to me today. You guys are my family. You're not like family. You are my family. And so
Family
You
too.
are our family too, and we're just so proud of
We
you
are
and
so
everything that
proud
you're
of you.
doing. I'd love to see the person that you have become. Oh gosh, you are such an inspiration for other ladies. You really are.
You are.
You
We're
really
very,
are,
very
Lexi.
proud of you,
We're very
Lexi.
proud of you. You're,
well, thank
you're our own.
you. Thank you so much. Well, thank you guys for joining me today on the podcast. We'll have to have you on again sometime, but I can't wait to see you guys again. I hope you have a great rest of the day in the studio. Can't wait to hear that too. But
Yes.
thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye,
Take
sweetheart.
care. Love
Bye.
you. Bye.
Love you guys too. Bye.